Good morning and God bless, ma'am. So before I'm going to proceed my part of this topic, so I'm going to introduce myself first. So my name is Mariano M. Damuluan Jr. and I'm currently second year student at the MCMC taking the Bachelor Science Education, which is major in science. So for today, ma'am, I'm going to discuss the continuation, which is the type of prejudice. Prejudice, okay? So what are the type of prejudice? Okay. So the first is the racism, the belief of one's culture or racial heritage in innately superior to that of others. Excuse me. Hence, the lack of respect or appreciation for those who belong to a different race. So when we say racism, it is the discrimination. Okay. We're talking about here the discrimination of one group or antagonism. So against a person or people on the basis of their membership in a particular racial or ethnic group. So for example here, the treatment, okay, the treatment of the work. So there's occurring of unfair. So unfair treatment at work may be based on race. Okay, so racism there including the colors of the skin, the ethnic group of one person. So in other words, the racism is all about circulating about the discrimination in one person. So the next one is the sexism. So a system of attitude, action, and structures that subordinates the other of the basis of their sex, where the usual victims are women. So in sexism, here is the discriminatory or abusive behavior towards members of the opposite sex. So that's the sexism. So now here comes the heterosexism, negative attitude towards the lesbian and gay and men. So here is the discrimination of prejudice against the gay people, okay, against the gay people on the assumption that heterosexuality is the normal sexual orientation. Okay, so that's the heterosexism, is the discrimination against the gay people, all the LGBT. So that's it. So the classism, it means the distancing from the perceiving the poor as the other. So we're not going to explain this one because we already know the explanation. We already know this kind of prejudice is been occurring as now generally in our surrounding, in our environment, in our society. So by degraded the poor people. So that's it. So the next is the linguicism, negative attitude which members of dominant, sorry for the spelling, members of dominant language group hold against non-dominant language groups. So here in the linguistic is the discrimination based on a person's language, okay? Competition among or unequal treatment of language and their speaker communities. So we already know this is the kind of prejudices we've been encountered this in any part of the world, and even your friends, even you, even us, we already experienced this one. We already caused this one, okay? Do this one towards our beloved native citizens, okay? So this discrimination occurs when a person treated differently because of her native language, like what I've said, or other characteristic her language skills, like mimicking them, even though even for us we're not know, okay, even for us we don't know what are they saying, we're still mimic them, copying them. For us it's making fun of them, their language. So that is the example of prejudice, the linguicism. So that's it. So here for example linguicism, here is the example, an employee, okay, an employee may experiencing the language discrimination, okay, at the work, if the workplace has a speak English only, okay, but her primary language is one other than English. It's not English. So There's not a word. There's no excuses. You must follow the rules of the company, what you're working on. You need to speak English, even it is hard for you to speak it. But it is the policy of the company for in order for you guys to understand each other. So I know there's an advantage or disadvantage, but in other words, it is been including to prejudice. Okay. So the next one is the ageism, negative attitude held against the young or the elderly. So by discriminating you're too young, you're too old, you do not need to do this. So that's example the ageism. They are based on the age of the person. So next one is the lookism. So lookism, prejudice against those who do not measure up the set standard of beauty. The usual victims are here the overweight and the under and the dark skin. So usually the victim here is the obese persons, the overweight persons, and and also the black, what we call their nigga. So they discriminate the word nigga. So that's the example of lookism. And also when the person told you that you are an ugly, okay, you're not belong in this group, so get out. So that's the lookism. Look at your shoe, look at your just a part of entire of your body has been prejudiced by lookism. So that's the example of lookism. So the next one is the religious. So religious prejudice against those who are followers of religion other than they are here in the religious, negative attitudes. Okay, negative attitudes or behavior between people of different religions group because of their different religious beliefs. So there's the argument between the other religious. Okay, I know where lots of religious been occurring in this era, and some of people has been you call this one not easily comprehend what was what was the truth about the religion. So that's it. So thank you. For me, that's the part of the types of the prejudice. Thank you. On the next report, we're going to discuss the following topic. So thank you and God bless.